but to put internet in the hands of a child. And to me, an 18-year-old is a child when it comes to navigating things like social media. I mean, I know grown adults who can't get out of bed in the morning without checking social media to make sure that they received enough likes on the stupid picture that they posted.
And now the new middle finger is this now.
And
you know
then they're destroyed.
Yeah.
And these are grown adults, so we're talking about 18 years old or less.
But what do you do in this case? Because they're like, kids are literally, when they come out of the womb, are being handed an iPad as they come out, and in school they're using computers, they're using the internet.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
supervised.
I'm fine with all of that. Using a computer, absolutely, they need to be technologically savvy and educated and know how to navigate, because that's the world that we live in. But that does not have to include having internet at their access. I mean, at the access to them at any moment, and social media. Tell me one purpose, one good reason of why a kid under 18 years old would need to be on social media. Tell me one reason why.
I don't believe they should be.
No,
and you know what? And that's where a lot of the damage comes from: the bullying, the suicides, people telling them to kill them. You know, kill yourself. You're ugly. You know, there's a lot of bullying on that, and I don't. And in all honesty, we talked about it. It's like when our child is born, we don't want to make that their babysitter.
No.
Of course we want them to discover things on the web, but we want to be present. We want to control what they can visit and not visit. And that's important when they go to a friend's house as well. But you know, with the phone, and so Sophia has no phone.
No. Oh gosh, no.
I love it.
No.
But if she had to make an emergency call, how can she do it?
She can do that from her little watch. Yeah. So she can call us and we can call her. But she can't be pulling up YouTube videos or searching the internet or checking somebody else's social media or going on to... No, she can't do any of that. So you control it. And how it happens, we've been having these conversations since day one. I mean, ask her. You could have asked her when she was 3. How old will you be when you can have an iPhone, 18? How old will you be when you can have your first date? 35 years old, after my dad is dead. No.
Well, she'll be younger than that. Go ahead.
Okay,
no, I'm
thank
only
you,
kidding. I
thank
wish you
you.
a long life.
Thank you. But no, it's not like all of a sudden we spring it on her. No, you're not gonna. No, we've been talking to her about these things.
You just said the key word. You said talking to her about it.
This is a daily conversation. Sometimes I remember somebody gave us some really good advice, saying, when you set up your daughter's bedroom, make sure that there's no toys in her bedroom, there's no TV in her bedroom, there are no games in her bedroom, because
just bars?
No, her bedroom is for one purpose, and that is to sleep. You want to teach your daughter how to sleep. And I know grown adults who don't know how to sleep. They don't get enough sleep at night. We're a family that sleeps, and sleep is super, super important to us. And so they said, teach your daughter how to sleep. And part of that is setting up this ritual, okay? Now, part of the ritual of going to sleep is we go in there at the same time every single night. There's a certain blanket, there's a certain light, there's a certain sound, and it's reading time. So it's reading. So we will read to her, or she'll read to herself. That's part of the ritual of going to bed. Not yet. Okay. Falling asleep. And also, this was the good part of it. They said that's probably the time when your daughter will divulge information to you.
Yes.
Because sometimes kids naturally want to put off having to go to sleep anyway. And so they know when we're in there, time to go to sleep. Daddy, I need to tell you something that happened today. It happens so often. Like that, and we reserve, that's sacred time. Sophia's going to talk to us right now, and the stuff that comes out, the stuff that she shares with us, because that's when she feels comfortable in doing that. So it's not just, one lesson, sit down, child, let's talk about internet. Yeah. Let's talk about social media. No, it's every single day. So we have these little conversations, Daddy, so-and-so has an iPhone in my class. Okay, sweetheart, let's talk about that. Daddy, I'm not going to get one until I'm 18 years old because I don't want to have anything. She had checked out of this circle of this friend group. And every day it was like another story, another conversation. Well, this one was mean, and this one said this, and this one right. And it was like every single day. And all of a sudden it stopped. Like one day she just stopped talking about it. She stopped telling these stories. Sophia, what changed? Oh, I have a new circle of friends now. Really, why'd you do that, Sophia? And we didn't tell her to do this. Why did you do that? Well, my new friends, they just want to be little girls. Catherine, she still loves stuffed animals. She still likes to sleep with her parents. She doesn't want to get acrylic nails. There are girls that have acrylic nails in 4th grade.
Please, some parents are getting them breast augmentation before they give them a chance to develop.
Yeah. So it's
can't they just be a child while they're a child? Like you said, before they're 18, I love that, because study shows the mind really doesn't fully develop till 25. Yet we're giving them all this stuff and developing it the wrong way.
Again, grown adults don't know how to navigate that stuff.
Yeah.
I truly feel, if we're talking about social media, I truly feel that in 50 years from now, as a society, we're going to say, what were we thinking? Why did we let this get so far? Why did we get so enwrapped with cell phones and social media? Like how did this happen? Because I think it's just going to go to the point where people are they're going to put their foot down and say no more. Somebody was telling me that flip phones are on their way back because people want.
I want one. I don't want an iPhone anymore. It's so funny because Winn, I don't have eye-to-eye conversation anymore with people. I try to, but I don't know if their just habit is here, but they can't look at you, and they're comfortable talking to you while they're playing on their phone or their computer. They can have a discussion with you, but it's like you take that away from them, they don't know what to say or do.
Well, it's deeper than that.
How deep is it?
Empathy. And there are some studies out right now by Harvard that talk about major corporations where the one thing that employers feel is lacking in candidates today is empathy. To be a good leader, to be a good employee, to be a good boss, to be really good in customer service, what do you need? Empathy. Empathy is something that you learn. You're not born with it, you learn empathy. And how do you learn empathy? Empathy means I can put myself in your shoes. I can feel what you're feeling. So you and we've been best friends all of these years. I know every facial feature. I know the laugh, I know the look, I know the mood, I know the energy, why we're friends. And how do we develop that relationship? Like this, it's face to face. This didn't exist. It was face to face.
Yeah, it was face to face.
Yeah. and so if something's going on, Julia, what's going on? Like I can tell. Why? Because I'm looking at you. But if I'm staring at a device and my conversation with you is just through text or through social media or something else, that's why kids of today are losing empathy.
Well, even on a phone call, when we're not face to face, how many times have I spoken to you and I'm like, you don't sound right today?
Yeah.
Because we're not texting.
Right.
And I'll give you a good example of that. I was just at an event down in Jupiter, Florida. And we were with a group of people, and the girl wrote, I had to meet with so-and-so. I am done with him. That's how he read it to me. And he's like, what happened? He had to cancel, and she's like, I'm done with him. Like, he thought she was going to walk away. What she really meant to say, and we found out later, because we're like, oh, let's get in contact with this person. Right. We all got caught up in the hysterics.
Right.
We found out that what she meant to say is, I met with him, and now our meeting is done.
Oh, right.
And we're like, oh my God. For like hours we were like, this is a tragedy. But people lost the I can't translate a text message.
Right.
I can't translate an email, because sometimes we read the email what we're feeling at that moment. And if we're angry at that moment, we're reading that email as an anger email.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the flip phones, because now, please, let's get back to talking. And somebody said it to me too. Let's get back to dating each other. Not, like let's kiss and all this. Let's communicate. Let's see each other in person. Let's have a discussion. You go to restaurants, and I'm talking, and Ashley and I, we hardly go to restaurants, but what we do, we're looking at every other couple. They're not Googling at each other. They're Googling on the phone.
Right.
They're not communicating. They're not talking. The kids are not talking. It's like.
And by the way, it's not just that we're the old guys trying to say, why don't they, this young generation, again, they're the catalyst for great things. I heard about these high school kids that whenever they have lunch with each other, they put their phones in the middle of the table, and whoever grabs their phone first has to buy lunch for everybody else.
I love it.
Meaning they've figured it out. They know this is hurting us. This is not healthy for us. And I think that there is that generation there is that segment that is trying to abandon and move further away from that kind of communication, from social media. And so, I mean, they see it too.
I made a rule in my house at the dinner table, and I made that rule because I was the violator. You know, I caught myself on the phone, and I caught everybody on the phone. And coming up in an Italian family, I don't know how it was in your family, but we talked at the table. We argued, we debated, everything was worked around food, but we communicated.
Right.
And one day I look up, and not only am I texting, but everybody else is doing it.
Right.
And our communication with my boys stopped. And so now, even if they're much older, I'm like, when you're at my table, unless you are a doctor on call or you're on call,
Right.
you can have your phone next to you.
Right.
Okay. Other than that, it is not allowed at the table, because this is where we talk to each other, we discuss, we debate, we communicate. And I love it, because I would be at this end of the table communicating with that person, at the end of it, that person is communicating with that. It's a mess, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And I think we're missing a lot of that fun, and I love what you're doing with Sophia. What would you tell the parents out there, best advice you can say, whether it be internet or anybody on the internet? This is an addiction, okay? The phone, the computers, everything is an addiction. How can we break the addiction? What's a good way to start, and what is important and not important?
There's boundaries and discipline. And my daughter, now when Sophia was born, I cut back from traveling, and I moved my office to my home. So I'm still working, but I'm working from home, which meant on your phone. So it's email, it's text. You can run an entire multi-million-dollar company from your phone, and that's what I was doing. And my daughter has said it to me, "Daddy, you love your phone more than you love me."
Ooh.
Now I could explain to her, well, Sophia,
almost
I
made me
work,
cry.
I work out of the home, and Daddy's got to work, and she doesn't care about any of that. It's my husband George. Come on, Winn, there's not too many more years. I mean, she wants our attention right now. Let's give her what she wants, what she needs, and it's like we have to remind each other of that. But you don't have to wait for those, heartbreaking daggers to hit you to realize there has to be a better way. We need to set up better boundaries. We do it with every other area of our life. We know that we're disciplined to go to the gym at the same time every single day. We're disciplined to eat the right foods all of the time. We're disciplined to know to go to bed and get up at a certain time, to set an alarm clock to be to work at a certain time. We're disciplined in so many other areas of our lives, but it just seems like with our cell phones, and I don't know why we're talking about cell phones, so it just seems like
Because it is a
there's
big
no
deal.
boundaries. There's just no boundaries. It's just
took
a
people's
free
lives.
for all, whatever. No, we just need the same boundaries that we put, and the same disciplines that we put on all the other areas of our lives now need to be applied to that.